Hello Blazers, welcome to episode 33 of UAB Green and Told. Original air date Monday, November 23rd, 2020. Through this podcast, we are able to share stories from members of the UAB community. I'm Greg Berry, Assistant Director in the UAB Office of Alumni Affairs. This week, we welcome Aaron Johnson to Green and Told. There's a good chance you may recognize that name, and with good reason. Aaron's name is littered throughout UAB men's basketball's record book. While he thrived as a Blazer, his journey to Birmingham came with struggles. As he will share, that includes an unconventional recruitment process at a time coaches were trying to get in touch with him.
One of our houses got foreclosed, and then we were evicted from another house. Like, it was just a lot going on in that time. So
once at UAB, he became a star. But as he'll explain, his prolific career on the court came crashing to an end.
I sit up, and I look at my leg is facing towards the right. The referee come over and say, "You okay?" I said, "Yeah, I'm good." Push up. I said, "No, I'm not good. Tell the trainer to come here."
But his injury didn't tarnish his name or his place among the school's all-time greats. His career was one that saw his jersey number retired and hoisted to the rafters.
I never thought anybody would consider retiring my jersey at any level, not 6-year-old young level, middle school, high school, never.
Aaron Johnson is a special talent. At UAB, he made a name for himself, earning Conference USA Player of the Year honors as an undersized point guard for the Blazers. Aaron's story begins when he was 5, before all the passes, trays, and wins that would lead to a professional basketball career. It begins as a shadow, a youngster just trying to emulate the skills of his older brother.
He's the oldest of my family. He's like 4 or 5 years older than me. And I saw him playing, and I just fell in love with it. And then I used to always try to follow him around and like go everywhere with him, especially when I knew he was going to play basketball. And just one particular time, he never let me go with him, but my father made him take me. My father and one of his friends made him take me. They made him take me. We had just moved around this new area. We go to this park, and it's just a bunch of kids in there playing basketball. And they just asked my brother, like, "Yo, that's your little brother?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "He want to play?" He looked at me. I was like, "Yeah, I'll play." I go out there, and I'm just running past everybody, like running, and everybody's like, "Man, that kid is fast. Like, who is this kid? Who is this kid?" And I was new around there, so nobody knew me. Coach come up to my brother like, "Yo, can y'all bring him back every week?" That was the beginning of it.
So at what point did you realize you had a gift to play basketball?
I think I was probably, because in Chicago, basketball is huge. It's like it's like the biggest thing. So they used to do like rankings and stuff like that a lot. At a young age, like 12, 13, 14, they was ranking players. So once I started to pay attention to people like putting me in rankings and like ranking me like top 5 point guards and top 20 players, I'm like, whoa, okay, like this may be something. And then I started to get recruited, like from going to middle school to high school, I'm getting recruited, and I'm like, oh, this is a serious thing. Like, people take this serious. So I think that's when, like, I won't say like I took it serious, but like, cause it was all fun it was all fun even through college. Like, basketball was just fun for me. It was never about like me trying to make money from it or, do anything to capitalize off of it. It was just for the love and for the fun. And then like, I guess at that point I realized like, okay, people take this serious and it's like stuff built into this. And like, I just started working on my game more and more.
What was it about your high school basketball career that you were most proud of?
Oh, my 3 championships. I won 3 regional championships. I went there just because my big brother went there. Like, I wanted to do everything my big brother did. So I just went there because he went there. He made a big name for the school. So I'm like, I'm going to just go there. And like, I recruited my little brother and his friends and, guys that we knew from around our area and where we lived in. Like, we won 3 regional championships. And like, I guess that was the biggest thing for me.
What was the recruiting process like? Because here you are, a 5'8" point guard from Chicago. You're getting knocks on the door, phone calls, all of that. What was that like?
It was recruiting process was actually hard for me because coaches couldn't really reach me like too well because in high school it was I would say from 8th grade to high school it was a pretty tough time for me and my life and my family because we were just going through financial struggles. One of our houses got foreclosed, and then we were evicted from another house. Like, it was just a lot going on in that time. So coaches were trying to reach me, and they really couldn't reach me. They can only reach my AAU coaches. So even when AAU season stopped, my coaches would come to my high school games, and they would just try to keep in contact with me and let me know, like, oh, this coach reached out, this coach reached out. So it was difficult up until my junior year when that's when I got a cell phone. I think I had a total of like, from getting offers from my freshman to my senior year, like 16 total. So up until my junior year is when it really kind of settled down and I was able to weed out the schools that I didn't really want to talk to and stuff like that.
So who did you narrow down to over the course? Obviously UAB was one of them because that's where you ended up, but who else was in that battle?
My top 5 were probably Arizona State, UAB, Wisconsin, Green Bay. Marquette came in a little late in my recruitment, and then and Evansville was the last one that I was thinking about, but not really too much.
Why did you wind up choosing UAB? What was the sell to come to Birmingham?
The sell for Birmingham was 2 things, because I committed to Birmingham before I came on a visit. So the sell for me was Mike Davis and Coach Tracy Dildy at the time. Coach Tracy Dildy is a Chicago legend, from Chicago, born and raised in Chicago, went to college in Chicago. And they came on the summer of my senior year. I didn't talk to them till the summer of my senior year. Like, he just let me know right away, I'm gonna take care of you. You from Chicago, you from the heart of Chicago. I'm from the heart of Chicago. I won't let nothing crazy happen to you. You're gonna be good down here with me. Honestly, Arizona State was number 1 for me. And man, it was big. Like, they was recruiting me and two other players that play AAU team with. And what attracted me is Jason Gardner was at Arizona at the time. And Jason Gardner was small, he was fast, he was great. And I'm like, I'm gonna be like Jason Gardner. I used to always say that, I'm gonna be like Jason Gardner. I'm playing Pac-12, I'm gonna be just like Jason Gardner. And when Arizona State called, it's like, oh, this is perfect. And I got an offer, I'm like, this is perfect. Arizona State, Arizona. I actually get on the phone. I called my dad. I said, Dad, I think I'm going to commit to Arizona State. He said, you sure? I said, yeah, I think that's the place. I think that's it. The next day, I see online that Arizona State has just took a commitment from Nate McMillan's son, NBA coach Nate McMillan's son. And it just crushed me. Crushed me.
You have a tremendous work ethic. Where does that come from? Being
small, being underrated, being overlooked, realizing that how my height, and I wasn't a skinny kid ever, but I wasn't, a big kid either. And then they just got to a point where, like, I'm gonna just outwork everybody. And then the coaches that I played for, they were tough on me. They would always tell me, like, if you don't play the hardest you could possibly play, you won't succeed.
How did Coach Davis tap into that and make you into a player that could be successful at the D1 level?
I gotta say this, he's the best coach I've ever had in my life. Best coach I've ever been around in my life. Greatest motivator I've ever been around in my life. I always been a point guard. I always been pass first. I always been unselfish. But he made it to another level for me. When school started in August of 2007, Coach Tracy Dildy, the assistant who got me here, had left the summer to go back home to Chicago to take a job. But before then, he had always told me, you're going to be the starting point guard. You're going to be the starting point guard. So him telling me that, I'm like, I'm going to tell this to everybody then, I told the coach, was like, I'm going to be your starting point guard. And he looked at me like, are you serious? You know who I have on this team? And I'm like, yeah, but I'm going to be the starter. I'm going to be the starting point guard. Because they just always say, okay. And from the time I came on this campus, he pushed me so hard and was on me so much. It just made me better and better and better each year. And he's like, I wanted to be tough on you. I wanted to be firm on you. I want you to understand the work you had to put in, because you told me you was going to be the starting point guard here. So I wanted to make that as difficult as possible to see if you would quit.
In the record books, I think you played 133 games. You started 108. Do you remember that first start that you got, and what led to that first start?
Oh, no question. Like, I remember like it was yesterday. My first start was against Stetson. Stetson University, the second game of the season, my freshman year. We had played Georgia State the first game, and I had a great first game. Great. I had like 4 points, like 6 assists in like 24 minutes. Going into the Stetson game, during the practice, leading up to the practice, Coach Marsh, the head assistant at the time, come to me, he said, "You want to start?" And I kind of froze, like, yeah. Yeah, I'll start. He's like, we think we're gonna start you the next game. So in practice, I'm like, all right, I gotta be on point. I gotta make sure I'm learning everything I need to know going into the game. And it wasn't hard for me to, learn game planning and, personnel and stuff, but I just wanted to make sure that I was on another level with it because it was my first start as a freshman. Getting the game, great, game's going well, run into a screen, boom, shoulder go out. Only play I think I might have played 5-6 minutes in that game. Shoulder go out, missed the rest of the game.
Because you knew you weren't going to be shooting, that has to be just a completely different mindset from going to one to the other.
Yeah, for some players, definitely. But for me, I was already unselfish. Like, most players want to get the points, and then once they get a certain number of points, then they'll go, all right, let me try to get a couple assists now. Me, I was always like, let me get as many assists as I can get, and then once the defense start to say, oh, he ain't doing nothing but passing, okay, now I'll get in attack mode, and I'll start attacking the basket to score. But I probably shot maybe 4 shots a game, 5 shots a game, and 4 of them was layups. I'll probably shoot 1 3 or 1 jump shot, you know what I mean?
Would you rather make the game-winning shot or feed the ball for the game-winning shot?
For me, I'd rather feed the ball. Even though you make the play when you take the shot, but when you make the play, when you break down everything and now everybody collapses on you and you get it out to the next person, I don't know. For me, it's just something better because it's like you made the right play. You know what I mean? Like, I think they both is the same thing, but as long as you make the right play, that's all that really matters.
You guys did tremendously well. You won 22 games or more every year, 23, 22, 25, 25. Within that, you also won the first outright CUSA regular season title your junior year. You led the nation in assists your senior year with 7.7 a game. You have so many memories. What is the biggest memory that you take away from UAB? The
brotherhood that I got with those dudes that I went to war with, like, that will forever be something that I won't, like, nobody can take away from me. Like that's the biggest thing that I really take away from it.
During that senior season, you played incredibly well. You scored, you passed, you had a complete season. Was it satisfying knowing what you learned from Coach Davis, the pass-first philosophy, the first couple of years, to be able to accomplish leading the nation in assists?
Now that you said it, like, I didn't even really think about it, but that's 100% true. Like, him instilling that in me early, it helped me later on, and then it really was it was so fast. Everything happened so fast that season. It was like, yo, hey, you like number 5 in assists. And they, like, somebody told me early, and I'm like, what? It's like, yeah, you like number 5 in the country right now. And not only was I on it, but Dimitri McCamey, one of my ex-AAU teammates, was on it. DJ Cooper, one of my other, Chicago friends, was on it. I'm like, oh, this is a battle. Like, this gonna be a battle to be the number 1. And from that point on, when I found out that I was top 5, I said, I'm not gonna finish this season without being number 1. That was unbelievable, for real, for real.
Did you have a favorite target to pass to?
Robert Vaden, of course. Like, you could throw him the ball from out of bounds to as long as it's close to the 3-point line, it's going up and it's going in. I would say Robert Vaden and Jamar Sanders. Those are my 2 guys.
The end of your senior year, the last career game, didn't really go as planned. You fractured your fibula. Mm-hmm. How bittersweet was that? I mean, you got a chance to end your career, but you didn't get to end it the way you wanted.
Leading up to that game, my biggest thing was to get to 1,000 points. Now, I was 14 away before the game. So I was, like, really pressing, like, I got to get to 1,000. Because for me, it was something to have 1,000 points and 600 assists. I would be the only player to do this. Like, the only one. Nobody else would be able to do it. And so I was really pressing that issue. But I was thinking about it during the game, but I wasn't really thinking about it. I was still just playing the game, and but that was like a big thing for me to get to that. And of course, winning the game was, big too. Part of me always say I wish it would have just happened earlier in the game instead of as late in the game as it did, because it's like we're down 19. It's like, why am I still in? But don't take me out, coach. You know what I mean? So I didn't even know it was broken either. No, I didn't know where it was broken. So
okay.
Let's walk you through the play. I know I like to talk. I'm sorry, Greg, but he come down, I run past him, and then I fall. So I roll a couple times, and I hear the cheerleaders go, "Oh my God!" So I'm like, what's going on? So I roll, sit up, and I look at my leg. My leg is facing towards the right. The referee come over and say, "You okay?" I said, "Yeah, I'm good." Push up. I said, "No, I'm not good. Tell the trainer to come here." He said, "AJ, what's wrong?" I said, "I think my ankle broke." And he like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah." So he get the feel of my ankle. He was like, "There's nothing wrong right there." I was like, "It don't hurt right there. It hurt up here." So I pointed towards the fibula. He pushed it in. It literally like pushed all the way in. So he was like, "Yeah, you broke your leg." I was just laid back. And the first thing that came to my mind is my career is over.
How long of a recovery was it? Because you would go on to play professionally.
Mm-hmm. So we did the surgery 2 days after the game. So I had the surgery 2 days later. I was in a cast, and so that was March. I was in a cast up until May. May I started to do rehab with getting my toe movements good. So I would like pick up things with my toes like that. And then I started to do like walking on the line, holding something, walking on the line. And then by June, I was cleared to do 1-on-1, 2-on-2, and 3-on-3. By the end of June, I was cleared to do running, jogging. And then by July, I was cleared to do sprints. I knew that I was going to have a shot at the NBA. Like I knew this because we used to have a lot of scouts come to our games that at the time during the season, my senior year, I really didn't know. Like I didn't really know. Like I never really paid attention. But Coach Davis and Coach Marsh used to tell us like, we got scouts coming to the game tonight, y'all. Just to let y'all know, just to give y'all a heads up. June comes, I hire my agent. I got an Italian guy named Mario Scotti, Mario was like my guy, man, for real. Hire him. He hits me in June, like the middle of June. Chicago Bulls, Indiana Pacers, Milwaukee Bucks all want to bring you in for a workout. What do you want to do? Mario, I'm just not ready. Like, I don't want to. I know they're gonna put me with some top-notch guards, and I don't want to go there and look bad and embarrass myself. And he was like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll just go overseas and then I'll come back and try to do it." He said no to that, and I just had a career overseas after that.
Yeah, and you played all over the place: Italy, Finland, Romania, Poland. What was the best place, the most fun place that you played?
Every place I had genuine fun at. So the fun part, I would say it was everywhere because I had some great dudes, some great foreign teammates, some great American teammates. But the best place was Italy by far, second to none, by far. Like the competition, the food, the way of living, the fan support, the amount of just like gear that they give the team, like the cars that they give you, the apartments that they give you, it was top notch by far, by none. The money was on time. The competition was top notch, like high level competition.
How has Aaron Johnson changed from that 5-year-old that was trying to play with his brother street ball to UAB to a long foreign career? How has that changed, Aaron Johnson?
It took a South Side of Chicago kid to see the world, and it put in perspective that things are bigger than where you are in life. You know what I mean? I was traveling around the States, the U.S. playing basketball. So I went to a lot of cities, saw a lot of small, big cities, saw U.S. But when I got on the plane from Chicago to Rome my first year, and I got off the plane in Rome and I heard no English, it was mind blowing to me. And I'm like, yo, I'm really seeing the world right now. Like people go their whole life in Chicago, where I'm from, people go their whole life without even going to downtown Chicago, going to the Lake Michigan and seeing that. And here I am in another time zone, seeing everything. And like, I would come back home and tell my friends, like, guys, man, y'all should come visit me, man, bro. Like, I'll set it up to where my team will pay for your ticket. Just come visit me. Y'all can stay with me, you know, come for a week or come for 3 days, just see the world. And they be like, yeah, man, we gonna come. And like, I never was able to bring any of my friends and others. So it just put in perspective for me that the world's a lot bigger. You can dream a lot more. You can, you know, if you work hard enough, like, things come true. Like, I never saw myself being a professional basketball player, like, ever. It started coming to fruition for me when I was a junior, and people started to tell me, like, yo, you can play pro. And it's like, you think? I used to always say, you think so? Like, I'm only 5'7", I'm 5'8". Like, you think I can play pro? And they like, bro, you can play. Like, this will be a future thing for you. And I'm like, I'm just gonna keep working. Like, I'm just gonna keep putting in the work. Stay humble. Like, I never was cocky. I never was arrogant. I hated players that was arrogant. I hated cocky players. I hated cockiness. I think you should always be humble. So I just stayed humbled and put my head down, did the work. And 8 years of a pro was a blessing for me. Like, and then, like, I never really wanted to play any longer than 10 years as a pro. So to do 8, it was like, man, that was just the greatest thing for me.
Where do you see UAB going as a university in the next 15, 20 years?
UAB has changed so much in the 8 years the 8 years that I was away. Like, when every summer I came back home, and I'm like, wow, this is completely different from when I was 5 years out of school. This, like, is new. It's a new HUC Hill Center. You got new dorm rooms and new buildings. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. So honestly, let me just speak on UAB in a basketball term. I think UAB is a top 20 job. I think it's a top 20 basketball job. And with the football program being as good as it is now, once we get the basketball program back to how it used to be, it's gonna be a big boom, and like, everybody's gonna want this job.
As a junior being recruited to UAB, did you ever think your number would be hoisted to the rafters and retired?
I never thought anybody would consider retiring my jersey at any level, not 6-year-old level, middle school, high school, never. When the subjects start coming up, I'm like, how? People will be like, what do you mean how? I'm like, why? Like, I didn't do anything as big as some of the dudes before me. Like, why y'all considering me? And they like, hey, look at your record. Look at the things you did. Look at the way people, like, just gravitate to you, and just, it's based off you just playing as hard as you possibly play. It's like, this can't be true. Like, it can't be real. And they're like, hey, this is really gonna happen.
I asked you where you saw UAB down the road. Where do you see AJ in a decade from now?
AJ will be one of the best college coaches in 10 years. I say it. I tell my wife that every day. Every day I go to the gym and I get around the players. I get around the coaches. I get around watching film and studying. Like, I'm a student of basketball. Like, I really study it. I'm not really one of those guys that's a fan. Like, I'm really a student of it. Like, I don't watch basketball and go, you know, hooray for dunks and crossovers. You know, I really study, like, movements and body language and the way they ran a play. Like, I'll be watching the game and I'll be like, yo, that's a great play. I wouldn't say that's a great move the way he scored. I would say that's a great play. And I'll think, like, maybe I can run that when it's my time.
That's Aaron Johnson. AJ earned his bachelor's degree in communication studies from the UAB College of Arts and Sciences in 2011. His name is all over the Blazer record books, still ranking number 1 in school history for assists in a game, season, and career. He was named to a pair of CUSA all-defensive teams, and in 2011 was the first player in UAB history to be named Conference USA Player of the Year. As one of UAB's all-time greats on the hardwood, Aaron has a great idea of what it means to be a Blazer.
For me, it's the it's the greatest thing ever. Like I tell everybody, UAB is my home. Birmingham is my home. Birmingham made me. Birmingham helped me build into the player I am. The people around the city, all the friends that I've made here in Birmingham, the people that I've met. To be a Blazer is no greater feeling for me, and it's super, super important for me to like establish that those relationships with those dudes, just because of what Birmingham did, what UAB did for me.
Don't miss an episode of UAB Green and Told. Check us out at alumni.uab.edu/Green and Told, or subscribe to the podcast on Spotify and iTunes. We would love to know what you think, and I would encourage you to leave a written review. If you want to get in touch with us, email greenandtold@uab.edu. Finally, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for @UAB Alumni. Thanks for listening, and until next time, go Blazers.